This podcast contains paid advertisements, but more on that later. Welcome to the O'Connor Bootstrap Podcast, where I discuss how you can grow your business by the bootstraps. This applies to all entrepreneurs, from the person just starting up to the one that is already well established. My goal is to help you grow. I am your host, Isaiah O'Connor.
Okay, so today's sponsor is a new one, and that is freepik.com. That's freepik.com. What is freepik.com? It's a free graphics resources for you to use with your presentations, with your content. Just a great place to get things like stock photos, vector icons, vectors, icons, not vector icons. Anyway, and such, so you can use them to create presentations, to add to your blog or website or whatever. Go check them out. It's freepik.com. Link's going to be in the description. And let's get into this. Everyone likes to be comfortable. I like to be comfortable. I'm sure you like to be comfortable. Being comfortable is a good thing. It's not a bad thing to be able to be comfortable. I mean, we have comfort food, comfortable pants, just different things we like to be comfortable in. We can be comfortable with our surroundings, comfortable at home, comfortable in our career, etc. And being comfortable is not a bad thing. It's okay to be comfortable, at least from time to time. It's good to be relaxed. It's good to be able to take some steam off and just enjoy. Now, the only problem is when comfort becomes a way of life, when you're completely comfortable in your situation. As they say, the enemy of great is not bad. The enemy of great is good enough. So that's what I'm talking about, is when you get into the comfort zone, it causes you to become lazy and complacent. You're comfortable with your current income. You're comfortable with your current marketing strategy. You're comfortable with your current customer base, etc., etc., etc. Now, it's okay to have a little bit of a cushion in your customer base, etc., and a little cushion in advertising, so you have something that works, something that can be relied upon. Yeah, that's good. But you can't get to the point where you just don't try anymore, because when you're too comfortable, it's easy just to relax and say, hey, this is nice here, and I don't need to grow, I don't need to expand, I don't need to. When it's very easy to kind of get lulled to sleep. And sometimes you, even if you're trying to grow, if you're comfortable, you may subconsciously not try as hard. Now, there's a funny thing about stress. There's a funny thing about trials and hardships, and that is when your things aren't comfortable and it's hard, you really start to fight. You really start to move. I mean, right now, let's look at the current situation. In 2019, perhaps your business was quite comfortable. Things weren't going bad. Things weren't going good. They were just all right. 2020 hit, COVID hit, and now it's crazy, it's hard, and now you have to really fight for your business. You have to really fight to keep going and strive. Yeah, it's not fun. Well, some people might think it's fun. Some people may not. But it's hard. And when you're not comfortable and when things are hard and you have to fight, that's when you see progress. That's when things get moving. Look at a lot of nations. During wartime is when the most innovation happens. Granted, it's a wartime and it sucks, but if you look through even American history, when did we build the most stuff? When were things, the industry built the quickest up and as fast as possible? Well, it was during the war. When the war comes, people start moving and things happen. When people are comfortable and they're relaxed and there's no strife, they can get lazy. They don't try as hard. Things kind of slide, things slip on through. And yeah, it can be dangerous. And this can be, again, in your personal life, in your private life, if you're comfortable with your relationship with your spouse. that could cause problems if you're too comfortable and you're not trying to win them over and show them you still love them and pursue that passion and romance, even in your private life. Comfort can be a good thing, but then again, it can be very dangerous because you don't see what's coming. And it's okay. Again, it's okay to have times of comfort, times to relax, times to chill and recharge your batteries. That's a very, very good thing. But when you go on vacation, it's nice, but you do need to come back and get back to work at some point. You can't go on vacation the rest of your life. Now, unless you retire. But I'll probably talk about retirement at another episode. I really don't believe in the traditional sense of the word retirement. But again, that's another story. So, how can you avoid becoming too comfortable? Well, first, you have to be aware of what's going on. First of all, realize that what's going on now may not continue. This kind of goes back to my episode about having all your eggs in one basket. Now, from personal experience, I I was on staff with the Christian Missionary Organization years ago. And it was a volunteer organization, and in order to be there, you had to raise support from your friends and family to help provide for your needs. They would provide money to pay for your housing, your food, your expenses, and whatnot. You need to raise up some support because it was a volunteer position and you were working in that volunteer position full time. Now, I was very blessed early on, and I had a friend of mine strike it rich really quickly in the stock market, and he had a lot of money, and he paid off my fees and my expenses for 2 years straight through, which is just amazing. But because of that, I got very comfortable with that, and I didn't bother to try to raise other support. I really didn't try. And so at the end of 2 years, what happened? Well, the income vanished because it was prepaid, and I hadn't worked hard to replace that. And all of a sudden, I had to eventually leave that year because I had no more income coming in, and I couldn't stay on and do the volunteer work that I was loving. It's because I got comfortable and complacent with my situation. Now, go back to the question I asked earlier, which is how do you avoid that? Like I said, you have to be aware that things change. Life can come at you quickly, and if you are not prepared for it, if you're not expecting it, it can knock you flat on your butt. That's why whenever things seem comfortable, that's when you need to be extra wary to prepare for other things. Make sure that, well, this is working now. What if it stops tomorrow? What if my entire industry gets shut down for 3 or 4 months straight, which is what happened to me? What happens if my biggest client disappears? What happens if my ad campaign stops working because people get bored with it? What happens if a new competitor comes in? This whole Michael Porter's 5 competitive forces. When you pay attention to all the possibilities, you kind of, in a way, you have to kind of look towards the future. No one can see the future, but you can kind of get a pretty good read on the types of things that can happen. You can kind of look at the way things are going, look at trends, and really focus on that and go, hey, what else can be? Hey, you don't want to be a pessimist. You want to be optimistic, but you want to be, like I like to say, a pessimistic optimist. People say, well, is the glass half empty or half full? And my response is both. People say, are you if life gives you lemon, make lemonade person? I say, if life gives me lemonade, I brought sugar because I want sweet lemonade, not sour. So you have to plan for the worst, hope for the best, and plan for the worst. And that's kind of what you have to do to stay from getting too comfortable. Is you got to realize the worst can happen. And if you don't move and work hard and fight and grow, then bad things can happen. It's like when you're riding a bike. You can be riding a bike uphill, for example, for a long time, and you fight and you struggle and you fight, you struggle, you finally hit that peak of the hill, and you ride down, and it's quick and it's fun and it's exhilarating as you fly down the hill. But when you hit the flat, if you just get too comfortable and you just don't put much effort in, you're eventually going to start slowing down, slowing down, slowing down until you stop. Or you can hit a flat spot and just kind of keep a steady pace, but you're not going to get anywhere quickly. You'll lose speed, you'll lose momentum, and it's not as fun. So you have to keep pushing and you have to keep going, because the problem is with life and business, it's like a hill. If you're not riding up, you're rolling back. And being comfortable can do this to you really, really quickly. So on the flip side of that, even though it's not fun, sometimes if you're in a position of pain and hardship and struggle, it might be a blessing in disguise. Look at it as right now things are rough. Right now, Corona has made my business flounder. I'm struggling. This is hard. Look at it as a blessing. It can be a pain. Look, trust me, right now my business is just barely making enough money to make ends meet, because there's not a lot of balloons being sold right now. But it's making me focus and come up with new ideas and come up with new ways to pitch and new ways to reach out to customers and clients that I would have never thought of in any other way. It's really forcing my creative mind into gear, because I have to do something to get the money in. It's really pushing me to push through to become champion in this. And it's not easy. It's not. But I'm pushing through. I'm getting clients. I'm getting customers. I'm still making money, and I'm slowly coming back, because yeah, it's not comfortable, but now I'm changing the way I do business, because I was a little comfortable. I have to admit, I realized I was a little bit too comfortable, even though I knew better, even last year. So yeah, if you feel like you're getting too comfortable, look into why, and then another thing you can do is, if you feel like things are too much in the comfort zone, you need to step outside of it. Look around, find something you can change, and change it. Just because, change it up. And as you change things, as you force things to happen, you might be amazed at the results. Anyway, this one wasn't that long of a one, but you have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye bye.
Remember to get your free half-hour consultation by using our contact page and the links below. If you found value in this content, please give us a 5-star rating on whichever podcast platform you use. It is very helpful if you share this with your friends. If you'd like to directly support this podcast, I have a few donation links in the description, or you can check out the show sponsors. You have been listening to the O'Connor Bootstrap podcast, which is an Atheoz Business Solutions podcast. For our companion podcast, the Atheoz Business Podcast, which is hosted by Jason St. Clair. Our past episodes and related blogs, you can check out our website at www.atheoz.com, which is www.atheoz.com, or atheoz.com. Remember, you can also check us out on the O'Connor Bootstrap Podcast Facebook group, where you can interact with me and other people who are bootstrappers and entrepreneurs. The link is in the description. Come check us out. I would love to interact with you. And until next time, I'm your friendly neighborhood entrepreneur, Isaiah O'Connor. See you later.